Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Attitude Era Wrestling Review Podcast. And tonight, we will be reviewing Nitro from November 17th, 1997. That's right, we are 2 weeks post Montreal on the other show. So, and after last week's absolute turd, I don't know how you say turd in Canadian or French or whatever thing they speak, but it was, oh, I do know how to say turd in French. It was Nitro from November 10th, 1997. That's exactly, it's the long form version of it, but that's how you say turd in French. Let's see if this week's better. Wouldn't hold your breath, folks, but maybe it was. Who knows? You'll have to listen and find out. You'll have to listen to us. And who's us? That's right. I am your 1, 2, 3-time armchair booker of the year, Drew. And I am joined, as always, by. Well, he's always been the man with the velvet vocal cords, but I think he needs a new gimmick. How about the. I don't know. Send us some. We need something for Arnold. Some with the word handsome in it because he is one handsome devil. But for now, I guess he'll stay the man with the velvet vocal cords. How are you tonight?
I am doing fantastic. I'm ready for the weekend.
Woo. Yeah, me too. A little behind the scenes, I've been having back spasms the last 2 days, so I haven't slept a whole lot. So,
Oh, lovely.
yeah, work's fun when I sit in the car all day and starts on my back.
It's understandable. I sit down a lot at work too.
All right. So, if those of you watching on YouTube, yeah, we have captions for the hearing impaired. And when I just went, my back went. All it does is dot dot dot. I love that. It won't even. I get the ellipses, which is apparently um closed caption for "you're an idiot." We can't do that. I got to stop reading that. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready for the weekend. It's going to be fun. It's supposed to rain all weekend, so great.
I know.
It's Father's Day Sunday, so I get an excuse to just sit my fat ass in the chair and play video games all day. We're good to go.
Absolutely. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, same to you. How old's your boy
Thanks,
now?
man. 9.
God, it's hard to believe he's 9.
Mm-hmm.
I got 13 and 10. Who blew it?
Oh, man.
The last 2 days, I took the kids to the swimming pool and went to float around, hoping to make my back feel a little better. Yeah, that didn't help. Yeah. But, all right. So, you ready to jump into this?
Let's rock and roll.
All right. So, we open up. We are at Cincinnati, Ohio, the mecca of. What was that like talk about last week? Mecca of chili?
Yeah.
No. So, every time we mention Cincinnati, I'm just going to. I would say shit all over their chili, but you can't shit on shit.
Touche.
Oh, it's not chili. It's spaghetti with wrong seasoning. I'm telling you, somebody just went to make spaghetti, and instead of grabbing the basil, grabbed the chili powder and went, "Oh, that's how we make chili here." What's your name? Arthur J. Skyline. You should have a restaurant. Oh, reminds me of the time I went to put cayenne pepper on chicken and accidentally put cinnamon on it. Didn't start a restaurant off that. It actually wasn't bad. I'm not going to lie. Cinnamon chicken is actually, you can look it up, there's a recipe for it. It's not bad.
There's a recipe for that?
Yeah, I found that out later. Mine wasn't exactly like that. But yeah, there is cinnamon chicken. And I'm not going to say it's the greatest thing ever, but I'd eat it again. Of course, I'm a fat ass and would eat just about anything, but oh, well.
I'll just take your word for it, man.
I marinated some chicken the other night, and I just put it in a bowl, and I just started pouring shit on top of it. I mean, whatever I can find in the cabinet. Rice vinegar, Jack Daniels, little bit of liquid smoke. Well, yeah, just everything. And my kids went, "This stinks." It sat in there for 3 days. Put it in the air fryer yesterday. Pulled it out, and they're like, "That chicken was good. What was that?" I said, "You remember that chicken you said smelled bad? That was it." All right. So we're not a food podcast. We are a wrestling podcast. Woo. Okay. Oh. Oh. Pause. I'm gonna. I don't know where to pause. I don't know where to pause. There we go. And we're back. Sorry, I got a call from Sami Zayn. All right. Where were we? Nitro, Cincinnati. We're not a food podcast, but we are a podcast, and we went over 10,000 downloads this week. Just wanted to say a special shout out to all of our listeners. Thank you. It means a lot, especially since a quarter of those come from Europe. Thanks. Shout out to our Europe fans. What did I call them on the pre-show?
What did you say? Euro heads?
Euro heads.
Something like that?
Yeah. And the captions get Euro heads.
Captions. That's amazing.
Impressive. Impressive. It even gets the exclamation versus period when I say impressive. All right. Can it go full Ron Burgundy? And if I say impressive? Damn.
There you go.
That is what. Hold on. What if we go full on Ron Simmons? Damn. Yep. Okay. Enough playing around with the captions. All right. Yeah, we passed 10,000 downloads. Thanks to everybody that's listened. I don't know why the first person ever decided to listen to our dumbasses give our opinion on something that's sold, but hey, you did. You have. You like us. You really, really like us. Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Tell your friends.
Please.
All right, well, let's get into this. Nitro, November 17th, 1997, from Cincinnati, Ohio. We open the show. We are recapping of Sting's beating he took last week, where apparently he thought, the only thing between me and the NWO is his bat. Yeets that down the ground. And
who needs a bat?
Yeah, proceeds to get an ass-kicking by all 37,000 members of them. Hogan with a couple leg drops. Nice slow-mo on the leg drop. That was pretty cool. Like that. Mm-hmm. Then we go to the show. We open with surprise, surprise. NWO comes out. How original. My notes really say, how original. The famous Vince Fears Ted Turner sign was shown.
Mm-hmm.
That you always see. How'd that go? Let's see. Scott Hall calls out Sabisco. Kevin Nash calls out the Steiners and the Giant. Let's just piss off everybody. Hogan comes out. Why is he separate? Was he late to the arena? That's the only thing I could figure out why Hogan didn't come out with him to begin with. I saw no reason for him to have a separate entrance.
Well, when you're a diva.
Hogan's a diva?
I can't walk out there with you guys, brother. I'm going to have my own entrance.
Sorry, hold on. My chair just went nuts and started to lean back. You want to talk about diva? Somebody trying to tell me that. So apparently, I don't watch modern wrestling. I saw a highlight clip of it. Nikki Bella's back, and apparently the crowd nothinged her.
As they should have.
And apparently Liv Morgan said, "You're nothing, but you never could wrestle." And I said, "She can wrestle with the emotions of knowing she could never wrestle." And somebody commented back, very funny. She was champion for over a year. The Divas title means nothing. You're talking about an era, and the Bellas are they're the poster child. Wrong word to use.
Embodiment.
I'm going to stick with poster child because it's a perfect analogy. Because Laurinaitis found them out of a modeling catalog. That's where he found all the divas at that era. So we need pretty people who we can somewhat teach to cat fight.
Yep. Yeah, the
No,
Divas era definitely set women's wrestling in WWE back.
like we said last week, give me Luna Vachon any day. And I just realized I shrunk way down because I'm leaning back. My back hurts, folks. Oh, yeah, give me Luna Vachon in any era, and she can whip the pants off of Nikki Bella.
Oh
Shoot,
yeah, absolutely.
work, doesn't matter. But yeah, don't give me Nikki Bella was champion for a year. Okay.
And
And people used to collect beanie babies. Don't mean they're actually worth a shit.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, you can say what you want about the Attitude Era in terms of like the women who were involved. But the thing is, you got a little bit of both. You had your valets, you had women who actually got in the ring and went. You had the women that did both. And it's like,
But there was
you know,
very few who did both who could do both.
exactly. And it's like, and the ones that could, they were working more often than not.
Yeah. Like Luna could do both.
Mm-hmm.
Sable couldn't do either.
Mm-mm.
Oh, she could valet. She didn't do a damn thing but stand there and look plastic. I'm sorry.
Exactly. I mean, that's what she was good at. Like, just you do that. Just don't talk. Just
Uh,
stand there.
And
Look menacing.
I'll piss a lot of people off when I say this. China was never a good worker.
You really can't argue with that, honestly.
She missed a lot of her spots. Even when she did get physical in the ring, yeah, versus the other women, she looked great because all she had to do was just pick them up and slam them down. She never had to any kind of lock up or headlock. Was just toss them
Mm-hmm.
to show her power, which was fine. But when it come down to like, go back and watch like her match with Jeff Jarrett. And yes, it's a stupid whatever kitchen sink match. I don't remember what it is. We'll get there. But she's not working good in that. All right, but anyway, sorry. Hogan comes out separate. I don't know why I'm got off on that rant. I am sorry. Hogan comes out separate. Oh yeah, here comes Rick Rude. Got to remind you, Rick Rude's here. Uh, he cuts a promo on Shawn Michaels and, or is this no? This is the first time we've seen Rick Rude. This is the one where he's on
Mm-hmm.
both. Yeah. So yeah, he cuts a promo on Shawn Michaels and the WWF. Um, Altogether, weird Hogan coming out separate. I guess it's because so him alone could introduce Rude. Can you figure out any other reason?
I say, yeah, maybe he had to pick up Rick Rude at the airport,
Okay.
you know?
Other than that, solid opening. Honestly, it wasn't long. It was only probably about 5 minutes, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Short, sweet. We got it done. Actually, I liked it so much I graded it and gave it a B plus.
Wow. See, I didn't grade it, but all things considered, excuse me, what we normally get from the NWO, nah, this was great. And of course, the whole time, with what went down in the other company, and a lot of rumors swirling about what the Hitman's going to be doing, and they had everybody convinced, like, this dude's joining NWO, he might be here tonight. So when Hogan's like, "Hey, look, somebody's coming out from the behind the curtain," everybody's like, "Oh snap, could it be? Is it him?" And then Rick Rude shows up, and even then, people are like, "What? What's Rick Rude?" And it's kind of like that was a nice little. It wasn't like a huge swerve, but just enough to kind of keep you on the edge of your seat there for a minute.
I agree. Yeah, it was. It was. I'm from what I understand and have heard and always heard the stories. Rick Rude, he got pissed off about that and immediately contacted him. Said, "Hey, I want a handshake deal with Vince. I'll show up over there and do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You want a shock factor? I'll be on the same show the same night." They had to know,
Oh
and
yeah.
there's no way WWF knew, or they would have cut him out of Raw
Oh, big time.
somehow. Would have. All right, so we have Mean Gene with Ray Trailer. I said on our last episode, which yes would have been almost 2 years ago, that the next time I saw Ray Traylor come out and try to get his ass kicked by the NWO, I was going to give it an F and move on. Arnold, do you have anything to say about this?
At this point, it's comical. Like, I'll be honest with you. It's like anytime this fool's on TV, he is getting his ass whooped by the NWO. And I just think that it's stale, but I still find myself laughing every time because most people say on site and then, they may or may not mean it. But I'll be honest with you, the NWO means it. They're like, look, if you so much as think about a camera, we're going to jump you. And they do just that.
All right, next then. We have Ming versus Glacier. Kind of a odd match since we had Barbarian versus Glacier last week. Glacier won, which irritated me. Well, Glacier's punches to the face. Oh my God. Somebody put that guy back over in the power plant and show him how to punch. Like the camera was close up and I could hear the director screaming, any other camera, any other camera. I don't care if it's showing the toilet. Get it off of that because it was bad. Ming takes a great back body drop, which is a lost art in today's wrestling. Nobody takes back body drops anymore. It's a relatively safe move, a little high impact, but still a great move, and nobody does it. Great. Okay. Tongan Death Grip, 1, 2, 3. Ming and can't think of Barbarian beat down Glacier, and here comes Ernie the Cat Miller for the save and gets a Tongan Death Grip for his troubles. So let me get this straight. You had Glacier go over Barbarian last week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Ming beat Glacier this week. Clearing the whistle pretty much. Maybe a little shenanigans, but still. Then you're going to have his friend come down for the save, only to save Jack Squat and get crap kicked out of him himself. Why do I want to see this tag team match now?
Because who else on the roster can we have do this?
Anybody.
Literally anybody.
Literally anybody. I don't know. I didn't care for it. I gave it a C plus. Weak punches, weak booking. I know. I just don't want to. This feud doesn't interest me at all, unless we're putting Ming and Barbarian over, which I doubt's going to happen. Ernie Miller is good for comedy spots, but I never have bought him as a legit threat in anything. C plus for me.
Yeah, this one for me got just a flat C. Because I mean, I'm right where you were in terms of like, what was the point of this in the beginning anyway? Because it's like, yeah, Glacier went over Barbarian. Okay, cool. I mean, I get that Ming's upset about it, but he was upset about it last week, and he got his licks in last week. So let's move on. No, we got to have a match because wrestling. And they're like, honestly, from those punches that you mentioned, I had no doubt in my mind that Ming was going to go over anyway, because the dude is, but the dude, they tell you he's basically invincible. Like, he no sells just about everything opponents throw at him. And not in a bad, like, I don't want to do this kind of way. That's his gimmick. I'm down with it. I like Ming. Um, I didn't think this should have been like a Saturday night match. And I like seeing Ernie Miller. I've always been a fan of the cat. And And I guess, I mean, mostly because you remember that show, Hong Kong Fooey?
Can't say that I do.
Well, the guy, if you listen to the pre-show, who sent us an email, he might know about Hong Kong Fooey. It's an older cartoon. It's like a Hanna-Barbera joint. And for some reason, Ernie Miller always reminded me of the main character of the show because the voices sound similar, except Hong Kong Fooey was a superhero or a hero, whereas Ernie the Cat Miller would talk and talk and talk and talk. Dude could talk his head off. Dude had the gift of gab. I would give him that.
Oh yeah.
But would 5 times out of 10 go over in a match?
He was never a threat in the ring. He was always he was a manager who could take great bumps.
Mm-hmm. I was like,
But
yeah, that's about the best way to put it. But I've always been a fan just because, yeah,
I've always been a
you
good
get me
fan.
hyped for a match.
Oh yeah. And he's always good for comedy.
Mm-hmm.
He's the 1997 R-Truth.
Pretty much.
Sorry, Ron Killings.
But put some respect on his name.
Yeah, I should. Everybody got him back since the last time we've talked, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it, but okay.
All it took was the WWE getting cyberbullied by their fans.
Yeah. And life would have went on, and here in about a week, no, you wouldn't have heard "We Want Truth" chants anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I don't mind bowing to fans sometimes, but fans don't need to book your show. Because if they would have, I wouldn't have put this next match on. That's right. We've got the Wunderkind Alex Wright, aka 1997 Cesaro, versus Mongo, aka 1997. Trying to think of a big guy that can't work.
Um,
The Great Khali.
I was you read my mind.
The Great Colleague. No, the Great Khali as an English. There we go. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Khali. There we go. Close enough.
Close
Anyway,
enough.
speaking of Mongo, since the last time we've recorded, a couple things have happened. On one of our last episodes, I made a plea for people to vote Mongo into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Thank you so much for doing that. Well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
That ceremony presenting him a jacket and his ring was touching. It really was. Since obviously he couldn't have been there, he was bedside. And also since then, we've lost Mongo to Lou Gehrig's disease. And anybody on here has listened to us from day one. I've always said it. Anything I say about Mongo is in between the ropes. Professional. He wasn't a good professional wrestler, in my opinion, but always rooted for him outside the ring. He always seemed like a good guy. Just got a bad draw in life. Hell of a football player.
Mm-hmm.
Hell of a football player. But in the ring, I don't. There's a lot of these people that aren't with us anymore that I talk bad about. It's nothing personal. It's just their work. So don't.
Business.
It's business. So I'm still going to talk bad about this match. But other than that, I'm glad he got in the Hall of Fame. That was beyond where it needed to be. Now he just never belongs near a wrestling Hall of Fame. Sorry. All right, so we have Alex Wright with Deborah versus Mongo. We're getting Mongo versus Goldberg at World War III. I'm sure that'll set the ratings on fire. Deborah distracts a bunch in this match. Mongo throws Nick Patrick out of the ring, DQ. He gets angry and throws Nick Patrick to the side. DQ finish. I must have been in a great mood watching this because I gave it a C. Because even reading my notes, I'm getting pissed. It's a C. It was there. It was like 3 minutes. We're setting up Mongo versus Goldberg over a stolen Super Bowl ring, which nobody gives a damn about. What about you, Arnold?
If Russo was there, it would have been a Super Bowl ring on a pole match.
No, it'd have been Deborah wearing nothing but a Super Bowl ring on a pole match.
Good point. with Buff Bagwell's mom as a special referee.
Oh, rest in peace, Judy.
Man, this one, this is where I started to kind of notice a trend, which obviously it's a go home show, so you're going to get it. But like, usually it's, this match, for example, we got Alex Wright versus Steve Mongo McMichael, and Mongo has a match with Goldberg this Sunday. Okay, cool. But like, why do you need to, like, as the kids say now, glaze him? Where it's like, yeah, Mongo, he's a strong man.
All right,
He's
back
got
up,
Bill
back up,
Goldberg.
back up. I'm 41, Arnold. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? I'm being dead serious too. I have no idea what that means.
I'm trying to think of like the best way to describe it because, like I
Like,
said, I had to say like the kids say because I don't know. Um,
okay, well, because my
Basically, meat riding. Does that make sense?
kinda. Okay.
Yeah, basically, meat riding. We'll say that because podcast land. But yeah, where they're just like, yeah, Mongo, he's like a big, strong, you football player, and all this, just
Putting him
lauding
over.
this dude. Yeah. And it's like, oh, he's in that battle royal for World War III. He also has a match with Goldberg. It's just like the way they plugged it seemed weird to me this go around, if that makes sense. Because usually, if you have a match, you'll hype the guys up. They'll cut promos. They may show like commercials, things like that. It just seemed really weird. Anyway, as far as the match goes itself with this one, I feel like this was just blowover, essentially. It's like, oh, well, Deborah's gone. She's with this German dude. Our Super Bowl ring's gone. That's with this scary bald man in the back. And I was like, I have nothing to lose. So I'm going to harass poor Nick Patrick, who is arguably the greatest at selling a bump as a ref.
Well, I mean, he was a wrestler long before he was a ref, so
Mm.
I think it was the injury that short ended his career.
That's one of those things. It's just like you feel bad for the guy almost until you're like, oh yeah, he was with the NWO for a while, which was hilarious. But
They don't
like,
spray paint him every time they see him.
true. But but just watching him just my back, like I'm just like this. Bravo, sir. Um, this match got a D for me. This pointless. It was pointless. Like I get that you're trying to get Mago over somehow. Like, oh, he's revved up about this match. And it's just like, okay, so you're putting him over, but it's a DQ finish because you're putting him over. Like, why not let him go out there? He's angry. He's like his wife is managing another dude. His Super Bowl ring is gone. Let him beat the brakes off of Alex Wright going into this match against Goldberg.
They here, I'll show you why I'm 3-time armchair booker of the year. You want to book this? They wanted him angry. He beats Alex Wright clean, continues to beat the ever loving snot out of him. Nick Patrick reverses the decision. Bam.
There you
He goes
go.
over, but gets it taken away because he's angry at Goldberg and Deborah, sees red. Same result, better way there. This match sucked.
Yes,
You,
it did.
you know what didn't suck?
What's that?
Our next match. We get Chris Jericho versus Rey Mysterio Jr. in their first 1v1 match.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I woke up right here and went, ooh, I'm here. I'm here for it, baby. That's right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shiki baby here. Wait, no, I just went Dusty Rhodes. I'm all for this, baby. Yeah. Let's get the weights. Run around. Doing the springboard, flipping things. I don't do a good Dusty, but it's funny. All right. I couldn't give this an A because Ray had a pretty obvious botch. I don't know if you noticed it, where he did a backhand or backflip off the rope, stumbled into the ropes. Then the next,
Mm-hmm.
but they picked it up, got right back in because they're professionals. And hey, you know what? It ain't ballet, folks. Stuff happens, but still. The super gorilla press slam off the top rope by Chris Jericho. I'm thinking, guys, this is Nitro, and you're pulling out that shit. Come on. I guess I'm assuming they don't have a match at World War III, and they're like, screw it, we're getting all out here. Um, Halfway through the match, Jericho starts to go full heel. Um, Starts working the back of Rey Mysterio. Ray goes, oh, I don't even know what. Ray got his knees up on a lion salt. Double power bomb by Chris Jericho. Goes for triple. Ray jumps out of it. Hurricane Rana into a pin. 1, 2, 3. Rey Mysterio Jr. wins. I don't like this finish. That's another reason it only gets an A minus. One power bomb. Ouch. Two power bomb. Ouch. I have no problem with him getting out of the third and hitting a move. I have a problem with him having enough to hold the man down for the finish. After two power bombs, it should be power bomb, power bomb, pick him up, he gets out of it, drop kick, and they're both down for a few. And something to that effect. But I do like Ray going over because we're getting, is it Ray and Eddie again at World War III? Or it'll be Ray versus whoever wins the Cruiserweight title match here later. Yeah, A minus for me. Solid match. I want to see more versus these two.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, excuse me. This is this was one where Bray recently lost the cruiserweight belt. I think Jericho was definitely a good opponent for this. Like this made this definitely made the first hour of Nitro like watchable. This was great. I was blown away by that super gorilla press slam because knowing how small Ray was at the time, like I thought Jericho broke him in half. Like, that was that was a huge move. That was really cool to watch. And like even so much so like the announcers were even like, I think this is the first time that's ever been done. It's like, yeah, and Ray had to be the first guy to feel that. That probably hurt. Um, and I will have to agree with you on the ending there. It's like they could have done that a lot better in a way, but it almost like because it's one of those things. It's like, okay, did y'all book it this way? Was there a time thing? Like, what we got going on here? But even still, all in all, fantastic match, and I ended up giving this one an A, especially after having to sit through Mongo versus Alex Wright.
You've
So
been a,
it's like maybe I'm just like, oh, this is a breath of fresh air.
you've been a lot nicer than me tonight, so I guess I was in a bad mood. I gotta stop watching these right after work. All right. Speaking of things that's gonna put me in a bad mood, Bischoff comes out, goes out toward commentary, goads Larry Zbyszko into a fight. A fan came to his defense. Did you see that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a fan decided he was going to attack Eric Bischoff, who just shrugged it off like nobody's business. Yeah. NWO holds Larry Zbyszko back while Bischoff, I will say this very politely, kicks him a couple times in the chest. Then they leave Zbyszko lying on the ground. You've got a good roster, right? Is anybody interested in seeing Zbyszko versus Bischoff or Zbyszko versus Scott Hall?
Maybe about a decade earlier.
Yeah, give me this in 85. Yeah, okay. 79. Yeah, probably. Not now. I don't want to see. I don't care. I didn't grade this, but you know what that means? Zabisco's going from commentary. We bring in
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Heenan. That's right. It's time for our number two.
Woo!
All right. And of course, to keep those people who are flipping back and forth between Raw and Nitro glued to their seats, we have Villano 4 and Double Your Money Villano 5. I don't know which one wrestled. I don't care. This was versus DDP. I don't. I know. I'm not going to read my notes because I know what they say. Why did the Mexican luchadors get any offense in versus one of your top baby faces?
Good question.
They were hitting everything under the sun on DDP. Have the upper hand for a lot of the match. Now, granted, DDP comes back and wins. Don't care. And one of them got a top rope diamond cutter. Great. This should have been a 2-minute squash where they come out and he beats the absolute crap out of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
This made Diamond Dallas Page look like a 6-pound bag of crap shoved into a Ziploc bag because it was just oozing out all over the place. That metaphor went nowhere, but anyway, you get my point. He looked like 7 pounds of crap in a 6-pound bag.
There you go.
It was nasty what they did to him here. I don't know if are we pushing the Villanos? Are they going to win the tag titles? Are they in the cruiserweight? I'll even give them that. Are they in the cruiserweight title hunt? No. Are they going to win World War III? God, no. They're going to get chucked out in a comedy spot. Why are they going toe to toe with Diamond Dallas freaking Page? No damn sense at all. Yes, I'm an old man and I'm whining. Deal with it. That's what you listen for. Thanks for listening. Let's get the 20,000.
That's right.
Why? Who in the right mind is sitting in the back and go, you know what? DDP versus the Villanos, whatever number, just whatever, which one it is. Let's give them a lot of offense. Let's have him fight from underneath for most of the match. Yes, they used a lot of heel tactics, switching back and forth between the two because you couldn't tell them apart, distracting the ref. I don't care. That doesn't matter. We should have came out, heard ding, 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 clothesline, clothesline, flapjack, or whatever he calls that pancake thing. Stand up, diamond cutter. The other one runs in to try for the save. He tries to spear or jump on something. He eats one too. Diamond Dallas Page pins both of them at one time. Bam. 2 minutes, end of match. DDP looks like $1 billion. Sorry.
Yeah.
This was crap, but at least I got to see Diamond Dallas Page. I gave it a C. I was happy, apparently. I don't know. I'm bipolar during this. I give good, I don't know. I'm riding the bipolar express. Choo choo. Woo!
Oh, there you go. I was about there in terms of, why did these guys get offense? Because like DDP is supposed to be one of your top guys. And this was a squash match with extra steps. Like, if you want him to do little tricky heel things, cool. We saw that. But even then, it's like, oh, I got your leg. And then he's like, okay, I'll let go of your leg. Oh, your buddy just got hit with a diamond cutter. That's crazy. Oh, I better get in there. And oh, I got hit with a diamond cutter too. Like, that should have been the match. Plain and simple. Like, the fact that these guys got to be total chodes for honestly more than 2 minutes is just surprising. Yeah, this one got a C minus from me just for that alone, because it's just like, yeah, these dudes should not be going move for move with one of your top guys. That does nothing for DDP. And I mean, yeah, these dudes are, like you said, nowhere near a title of any sort. So what this did nothing for no one.
Exactly. Exactly. Would you give it?
C minus.
C minus. All right, we'll move on. And for the up and down portion of this match is brought to you by Heinz Bakery. The dough rises, the dough falls. Because we went from cruiserweight match, great. That stink fest of DDP, down. Back up with Dean Malenko versus Eddie Guerrero for the WCW Cruiserweight title. Shout out to Dean Malenko. I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head. He's a Japanese wrestler, and he was paralyzed a couple years ago. Cannot think of his name. Don't try to make me either pronounce it. Even if I think of it, I'll butcher it. But I saw where Malenko sent him a cruiserweight title belt, not a replica, the belt.
Oh yeah,
and said, you're still a champion. That's class, and that's awesome. Shout out, way to go, Dean. Great, classy move. All right, let's see if he pulls out classy moves in this one, because God knows Eddie Guerrero's not going to. He's going to lie. He's going to cheat, and what else is he going to do, Arnold?
Might even steal.
That's right. He's going to lie, cheat, and steal. All right. This starts out lightning fast. Like they said, you guys have 30 seconds. Get your shit in. Yeah, I didn't even start writing. I didn't even write stuff down like moves or anything. One of the fastest tilt-the-world backbreakers I have ever seen. Halfway through the match, Ray comes out. Dean Malenko is getting a little heelish during this, and I like it. I like heel Dean. Guerrero mostly in control through the match, though. Guerrero hits a superplex. Dean Malenko says, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to hit a super backdrop and a double count out because they both are on the floor. All right, so let me get this straight. Let me get this straight, folks. We are getting Ray versus Eddie at World War III. Just have Eddie pin Dean. Shenanigans, hits him with the belt, pins him. What's with this double count out crap on a go home show for somebody that's not even in the damn match? If he was in the match, if it was a triple threat match, a three-way, I'm good. This is fine. Protect them both. Dean's not in it. Pin him. The booking tonight was atrocious. And for that, I gave us an A. God, it was good. I mean, it's Dean and Eddie in 97. What do you expect it's going to get?
Absolutely.
I mean, you could have them blindfolded, legit blindfolded, and it would still put on a good match.
Oh, yeah, hands down. I mean, how can you argue with that? I mean, honestly, for me, this was, I was looking forward to this one. And they did not disappoint. Some of the spots were just mwah. The only spot I didn't like was the commercial break. That was a stupid spot. I don't know who booked that. Freaking Ted Turner. Got to pay his bills somehow, I guess, right? Because, I mean, like, there are very few things in the world that, you can accept a break. If you're at work, you obviously want a break. You're doing yard work, something around the house, whatever, get some break, get you a break. There are things you don't want breaks in. Like if you're having lunch, you don't want to take a break during your lunch, right? You want to eat your lunch. This match was my lunch. And it got interrupted by a conference call. That, I don't know, it was 1997. So like Mr. T was yelling at me, threatening me to use 1-800-COLLECT or something. I don't know. Peacock. But that to me, the only thing that killed the momentum of this match was that commercial break in the middle of the match. Because it's like you have these guys, they're pulling up big spots, perfect for TV, nothing other than the super everything.
Or
They weren't doing anything crazy. Like they weren't doing like 450 splashes all over each other and trying to jump from the top of the stage. Like nothing crazy. Rey Mysterio made an appearance, and we'll be right back.
wonder if they missed their spot. Wonder if the ref said, commercial in 30, and they just said, the hell with that. We're going to keep going right through the break.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of those things, though. I mean, if yeah, you see somebody's about to do something insane, and they're like, "Oh, we got to take a break. We got to take a break." I might not turn the channel because it's like, what did he just do to him? I was like, get me back to Cincinnati quick. And at the same time, it's just like, ooh, I'm flipping over to USA. What's going on Raw? Why is Rick Rude there? That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I just saw him a little bit ago.
How is he two places? That's when your little brain gets, this isn't live yet. It's crazy. But nah, I digress. All in all, this match was awesome. I was kind of iffy on the end of the match because it's like I get it, I guess, because it's like you don't want to put one over the other, but yeah, it's like you said, we have Eddie versus Ray at World War III. Why not just put him over? It's Eddie Guerrero. He'll find a crappy way to win the match. Everybody will boo him, and he'll be like, "Yeah, I love it. I'm the champion." And Ray, you're next. Whatever. Yeah, I ended up giving this one an A too.
Like, if you want to, after next week, have Dean versus Ray, if that's where they're going, have like Eddie go to cheat. And Ray's like, yeah, that will not stand with me. And he gets up on the top rope and he tries to drop kick Eddie, misses, clocks Malenko, and that's the 1, 2, 3. So now you've got a reason to have Malenko to be pissed at Ray. If you want to do that, that's fine. But with what they did, I hated it. So you said you gave it what, an A?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's move on to probably my shocker of the night, for the fact that I actually somewhat enjoyed it. It is One Eye Willie himself, Scotty Riggs, versus Perry Saturn in the TV title match. The flock are in the stands, duh. Before the match, Raven and Kidman come to the ring. Kidman's on the mic, offers Scotty Riggs a spot in the flock, which he denies. And they go to attack him a little bit, but um, Raven's like, no, 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 let him go, let him go. I wrote down something I'll die on that hill. Scotty Riggs has the best drop kick in wrestling. Uh, eye poke to the spot that got dropped because he has his eye patch on. And during the match, the eye patch and the medical tape come off, and we get to see the funky looking, what is that, a contact lens you want to call it? Or Scotty Riggs really didn't have a fake eye, did he? It was a contact lens, wasn't it?
I think so.
I don't know. Either way, it looked good. It looked pretty creepy, so we get to see that for the rest of the match. Of course, they make sure they want to put every little close up on it. Why not? Um, for the ending, um, Saturn hits his guillotine leg drop from the top rope. Rings of Saturn tap out. Saturn wins. Raven stops them from beating down Scotty Riggs. End of match. I didn't say much about it between the ropes, but this was a pretty good match between Riggs and Saturn. Both guys can go, and like I've always said, Riggs has a great drop kick, and Saturn's just Perry Saturn. So I ended up giving this a B minus. Not the highest praise, but for a random flock match on Nitro before they get their head of steam, not bad. Not bad.
I have to agree here. Like I said, I had really had no beef with this match. Um, one of those things where can't really call it filler per se. I mean, you can, but you can't.
Oh no,
You know what I
filler's
mean?
coming up next.
Yeah. So it's like after that match with Eddie and Dean, you get this one. And what got me was if you notice, like the crowd was kind of lackadaisical. It seemed like it. Like they had kind of like the crowd kind of got away from the guys, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like the mood felt like it changed.
They didn't
Um,
they were down on this one. They were way up on the last one and they just went
mm-hmm,
way down. They just I don't want to say they nothinged it, but there just wasn't anything to get up for. I don't really care about Scotty Riggs' eyes. I'm sorry.
mm-hmm.
It's
I
not
was like,
that
yeah,
important
that's
to me.
not the shock value they were
Yeah.
like. It's not like we're hearing Kane talk for the first time, but that'll still go down in history as one of the funniest things ever. But yeah, this one, I mean, it was a match between two decent workers, in my opinion. I mean, you keep saying Scotty Riggs has the prettiest drop kick, and I've always liked Perry Saturn. I mean, the dude was like that perfect mix of like, at least at the time, like new school. He's got all these piercings, and he's an ECW alum, if that gives it away. But
Real? Really? No.
and even with that, dude was still very technically sound in the ring.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have no qualms with Saturn in the ring
Mm-hmm. I
till
was
he
like,
gets a
yeah, dude
mop.
was still technically sound, but just looks like he would have no problems hitting a beer bottle over your
And then he would mop it up.
head. Absolutely.
Foreshadowing. Woo.
And yeah, but all in all, like wasn't a terrible match. Um, looking at a bubble anyway, starting to get around to the idea of this whole Ravens flock thing. Kind of down with that.
And
Plus,
if
I
you're
mean,
not down with that, we oh wait, never mind, wrong show.
that's on the other channel. All in all, I gave this one a B. Like I said, it wasn't bad. I mean, compared to the previous match, but hey, these guys did what they did in the time they got. So hey, kudos to them.
Yep. All right. Next. Arnold, stop me when you heard this one before. Steiner's with Ted DiBiase versus Bagwell and Norton. NWO jumps him on the way to the ring and beats the crap out of him.
What?
Anything you can say about that we haven't already seen?
Um,
Talked about 1,000
not
times.
really.
Okay, next match. Kurt Hennig versus Lex Luger. I like this. I was looking forward to this. Hennig comes out in his sleeveless flare robe. Love it. And then Lex grabs Hennig by the hair. And we talked about divas earlier. Cat fight throws him across the ring. That was weird. Is it just me or is that weird in a guys match?
That's
That's
weird in a
not
guys match.
that's not like a hair versus hair match.
A little bit. Like, I mean, I've seen plenty of guys that like the longer hair, the other dude like, I'm gonna grab your head. But they'll like hammer throw them across the ring.
Yeah, this was just kind of
This was
swinging
like
down.
eh,
How'd that go
in
again?
comparison. Like eh.
So I can save that for the soundboard. Yeah, I didn't get that. Lex Luger starting fast and strong. Hennig does a flare flop. Love that. It was a good back and forth between them. Luger gives. Oh, what the hell does it say? I got to start writing. I don't know. Something, and Hennig flies over the top rope. A home drop. Oh, he gives him the atomic drop, and Hennig sells it by jumping over the top rope. Love that. Pushes the ref into Luger. Luger uses half. I don't know. I got to start writing neater. Once they use his belt can. Oh, Hennig went to use the belt. Sorry. Luger, per. I don't know. Anyway, the Nick Patrick calls for the bell. DQ. Hennig pushes Nick Patrick down. Lex Luger and the Giant comes down and runs off Hennig. I don't know. My notes were getting bad. It was a back and forth. Hennig got himself disqualified, and the Giant comes down to run off the NWO. I liked it. I gave it an A minus. I just can't write neat, apparently. I love
I
when I
have a
said the
question.
NWO. It literally just typed the NWO instead of the NWO. No,
And
not
speaking
V,
of that,
the.
it's a good segue because I kind of have a question, not just for you, Drew, but also for everybody out there listening in podcast land. Um, with all the random acts of violence that have taken place tonight, why was Lex Luger not like one of the top 5 people we're gonna jump?
That would make sense. We had to save our energy for Ray Trailer.
Right? Because I mean that's my thing. Like, even if this match still goes on as it did, like, you had it there at the end. Ref calls for the bell. Hennig's already out there beating the crap out of Luger anyway. Everybody else, come on down. Get your licks in before he throws one of us up in the rack.
It's because they used all the can of paint on Trailer.
That's true. That's very
Even,
true.
I don't even remember if they painted the Steiners. Nothing didn't went on.
It's like I don't even think the words or the letters NWO were legible on Trailer when they were done.
No, it looked like he was so sweaty. They were just wiping off. Kind of funny.
So homie rubbed his back against like coal or something. I was like, that y'all hate this dude.
No more of that. We've already went over that crappy part. Back to
Hate him.
Hennig and Luger.
Speaking of people, honestly, like, I kind of wish that Flair would have came out at some point.
You think Flair is going to Cincinnati on a go home show?
Good point.
I mean, he did, but he's over in the Marriott and ain't coming out. Well, I mean,
Because
he is, but he's not leaving his room.
you know, every time Hit It comes out in that robe, he's probably seething.
And even in non kayfabe, because he knows how much those damn thing costs, and he cuts sleeves off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure Rick's let him, because those things are like $5,000-$10,000.
I'll say they ain't cheap.
They're handmade, and yeah, they ain't cheap at all, even by today's standards.
So you can tell, looking at them bad boys ain't cheap, and that just makes me laugh. But honestly, this match went about as, I don't know, it's about as well as I thought it would. All things considered, considering the 2 guys in the ring. Um, like, I mean, when it comes to both of these guys, you know what you're going to get from them. They both went. I was happy about that. Of course, we had to have another shameless World War III plug for these two, because I do believe they have a match at World War III, and that one's no DQ. So,
Dum dum dum.
so obviously that just kind of gives away tonight's finish.
DQ.
Gasp.
Dairy Queen for everybody.
Because I even said, I was like, oh, they did the thing that they can't do on Sunday. Like in my notes. Because it's like, all right, yeah, this match is it's no disqualification. It's like, all right, who's getting DQ'd? Ended up being Hennig because obviously.
Should have been a robe on a pole match.
Mm-hmm. Then there would have been no ropes and no poles until the end of the match. They'd be like, oh, look at this foreshadowing. Oh man, I love this stuff. Um, now I gave this one a B. Like my gripe was just that. Sunday's a no disqualification. So let's DQ somebody tonight. That way that's out of our system. And I'm just like, guys, just if you're going to DQ, why not have the rest of the NWO or at least the B team who come out and do their thing? Send out Virgin, Conan. I mean, I'd say Bagwell and Norton are still pretty spry. You know, send those guys out. Have them
Agreed.
beat the crap out of Luger.
Did I give my grade? I don't remember.
I think you did. I just can't remember what you
Huh.
said.
Well, I don't have a problem with the finish. I mean, I get it's standard, pretty by the book booking, but I gave this an A minus. I liked it in the ring. It was good. It was no more than it had to be. It wasn't long. It wasn't another NWO beatdown. Thank God. I mean, there was attempted, but at least it wasn't another one. Okay. Speaking of matches that are before the show that we have to end a certain way, let's go to the final match tonight, and it is Giant, the Giant. Sorry, I put some respect on that name, versus Scott Hall. Scott Hall. And Scott Hall doesn't seem scared of the Giant at all. And big, sexy Kevin Nash comes out to ring or commentary, tears his quad. No, I'm just kidding. just kidding, Kevin. Just a little friendly joke. Don't murder me in my sleep. All right. So this is a very, 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 very slow match. Oh my gosh. It's like somebody told him, hey, we've got a little more time than what we thought, even though we've went way over tonight. So make the ending of your match seem like 15 minutes instead of like 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Ugh. I don't. I'm getting tired just thinking about it. Slow. Good Lord. Sorry, I have narcolepsy and I was about to fall asleep there. I'm back. This match was, I was putting myself to sleep thinking about it. That's how bad it was, folks. That was not a work. That was a shoot, me trying to fall asleep talking about it here. They never really wrestled this entire thing. They kind of pushed, kicked. Giant got the upper hand a little bit, did a few moves. This was all about Scott Hall waiting for his opportunity to beat the crap out of the Giant's hand. So he couldn't go with the choke slam. He tried for it, and here comes the NWO. They jump him. We want Sting chance. And of course, now finally, for the first time in, well, since the last go home show for World War III, every WCW member comes out because we've got to have enough to fill 3 rings, even though we're only in 1, to promote the 3-ring battle royal. That thing had better be shot better than last year. You remember that? 3 cameras on the
Oh my
floor.
goodness. Yeah, that was disastrous.
That was the worst pay-per-view we've had to watch, and we watched people hit each other with inflatable sharks. So just saying. This ending match though, I get it. They're trying to hurt the Giant's hand. and it was never supposed to be a technical match. I just don't like it that it was a slow. But overall, I'm going to give it a B. It wasn't terrible. It was just terrible. Sorry. It wasn't terrible. It was just terrible.
Fair enough. Nah, this one, yeah, it was slow. Like, I mean, I get it as like, oh, the big man match or whatever, but like you can do that. People watching at home. Um, I think the fastest movement in this match that I saw was Bobby Heenan. Nash just like he saunters up to the commentary table. Heenan's like, "Nope, I'm out of here." That's just
Yep.
it cracks me up. And it was like I think that was the quickest. And then of course you get your typical NWO beatdown because it's the end of the show, so we got to be on TV, kind of thing. We've seen that every week since they formed. But yeah. All in all, though, like the match itself wasn't bad. It's just that I don't know. It's like I wanted more, if that makes sense. It's like I wanted something a little bit more, and then you get more. I guess all the mid carders come running down to the ring. We'll save you. We'll chase off the NWO.
Yay, World War III. We all have got such a great chance of winning. My name's Villano 77. Ooh.
I can't wait to be the champion. Yeah, like you get this whole thing. Like this happens with every big thing like this. It's just like, oh, well, there's 18 billion people out here. Who's gonna win on Sunday?
And not to just shit on WCW, WWF did this for years before the Royal Rumble too. So
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
everything ends in somehow it ends in a big schmoz with everybody coming out. Oh, this Sunday at the Royal Rumble. Okay, we're done. Fade to black.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you give this one?
This one got a B minus. Like Heenan was my favorite spot of this whole thing because anytime like you say NWO, he's just like, where, what, who said that?
Peace out, bitches.
I love it. This is like just knowing Heenan. It's just like this is spot on for him.
Yep. I don't know. Did I give my grade? I gave it a B.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I did. Sorry, starting to fall asleep. 2 nights with back spasms. I haven't slept, so get a little
Makes
tired.
sense.
So that's the go home for. What the hell's the thing? World War III. Ooh, wouldn't this be World War IV since we had World War III last year? Actually, I think this is
Right.
like the third one, so this should be World War V. World War V, not World War III. Three. I don't know. Anyway, 3 ring battle royal. Hogan versus shit. If I know, he might not have a match.
I was gonna say, does Hogan even have a match?
We're saving him for. Oh yeah, Sting. But that's not till Starcade.
I
So
said that's Starcade, yeah.
Sting, he doesn't have a match. All right,
Shocker.
I'm not going to do the damn card. We'll go through it next week, but we know roughly what it is. So that comes time for that time honored tradition, Arnold. I know we're a little bit older, but are we going to Mama and saying, Mama, I need $40? Are we splitting it with a friend? Or are we saying, I'll see what happens on Nitro?
I'll be honest with you with this one. I'm probably just gonna wait and see the highlights on Monday night. Like none of the matches really. There are some good ones on there on the card, but like there's not any that I'm like, I gotta watch this live. Because either A, I don't care, or B, I've seen it. I've seen a better version of it. Cough, Ray and Eddie. But
That's the only match that I want to see. Everything else. I remember last year, I love Royal Rumbles. I love Battle Royals. I was so excited for the 3-ring Battle Royal. Didn't get to see any of it because of the worst camera angles. I don't remember where it was last year. I think it was in Kalamazoo, Michigan. That rings a bell. They could have took a TV camera, one of Ted Turner's $10,000 cameras, shoved it up an elk's ass, and I'd have had a better view of World War III.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm waiting for Nitro. Sorry, not going to happen. I'm not spending a dime on this thing.
Nah.
All right. So we're neither one of us are going to watch it, but we're going to watch it and review it for you in a few weeks. So
You're welcome.
yeah, so we watch it so you don't have to. The Attitude Era Wrestling Review Podcast. Actually, we kind of want you to watch it with us, so that way you can let us know what you thought. Unless you just remember it as being shit that I'm pretty sure it's going to be. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So as for this show, this did not average out well, mainly because I gave the Ray trailer thing an F. So that brought it pretty far down, and it got a straight C. Other than that, it would have got a B, but I don't care. I'm tired. Every time I see Ray trailer, I'm done. I will not, on this podcast, say his name again until he turns up on the other channel as the big boss man. When that segment comes up, I will turn it over to Arnold and he can say whatever the hell he wants. I will sit back and relax. I'm done. But this gets a C for me. Not a good go home show for a not a good pay per view. It's a gimmicky one with a bad gimmick. Basically, just a bad gimmick because we couldn't see it. If they actually have cameras around the arena where I can see things, it might be worth watching. But it's C for me, dog.
Yeah, like as far as go home shows go, like I mean, this makes it seem like a throwaway pay-per-view. Because this is like, yeah, this is like a big thing. We've got 3 rings, and all these people are gonna go in here and fight for their chance to take on the champion. Like, it's pretty exciting, right? Like the whole gimmick is like there's 3 rings and they're just out there chilling. I mean, play that up. Like, give us some decent matches for it. Outside of the 60-man battle royale. Battle royale. I've been playing too many video games. But at the same time though, it's like you look at the card, it's kind of like 1 or 2 matches here I would be interested in, but I mean, it's like was the old commercial, where's the beef? Like your big champion, your main champion is not even on the card for this. So like throw it away.
Couldn't
And I
agree.
get it, they're waiting for Starcade, obviously. We know that. But it's like,
Which turns this into a throwaway pay per view.
mm-hmm,
Yep. Couldn't agree
exactly.
more. Could not agree more.
And as far as this Nitro goes, though, like this got a C minus for me. Like it left a lot to the imagination because for your Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko match, you have your Alex Wright versus Mongo McMichael. And this was a very up and down show. So much so that, yeah, by halfway through hour 2, the crowd lost interest.
3 different NWO beatdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't need that. Didn't need that at all.
Huh.
Not even counting the one at the end of the show with like attempted Steiner's trailer. Oh shoot, that guy, Steiner's and Zabisco.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Arnold. I'm legit falling asleep over here. I seriously have narcolepsy at this point. It's 9:20 at night. I'm old. I'm past my 40s. I don't stay up late anymore. But I just want to say, next Wednesday, 7:30 on Twitch. come join us for the pre-show. We will have a question we will post on our Twitter. It said Tweeter instead of Twitter. But will it capitalize X? Damn. It did. Yeah, join us for the pre-show. We'll be talking probably lead up to World War III, probably something about that. Maybe a question about Raw. Something's been going on over there. Maybe some Stone Cold action, or maybe we'll just spend the half hour just absolutely just shooting the shit back and forth. Join in if you want. If you want to join in the Twitch chat, that's fine. If you want to join in on the Zoom meeting for the pre-show, let us know. Give us your email. You can join in for the conversation. I don't care if you use a nice camera or mic or anything. You can use your phone. I don't care. Quality is not important.
All right, come on
Just
in.
the interaction. We'll have a big meeting. We'll have big wrestling fun. All right. We did our plugs, didn't we, Arnold?
I think we did it for Twitch. I don't think we did it for the podcast.
All right. Go for it.
All right. Well, as we were saying there, if you want to join in on the pre-show, I done forgot our Twitch link already. So look out for that on the Twitters.
AEWR Pod.
There you go. Twitch.tv/AEWR Pod. Thank you, Drew, because I had no clue. And I follow. That's a shame. Anywho's, you can tell me how you feel about it on Twitter at AEWR Pod 316. I'm so out of touch.
No, okay. Well, just AEWR Pod. And if you're like Arnold or me and so old, you're going to bed at 9:30, and you want to use that good old electronic mail thing on your AOL, you've got mail. That would be AEWR316@gmail.com. We're still rusty, folks.
So shout out to Drew. I forgot all of our socials.
It's okay. You had them last week. That's why I thought you knew them. I put you on the spot. You had them wrote down last week, didn't you?
I did, on the back of my hand.
That's what I thought. I forgot to check the back of his hand. All right, Arnold, this was a pretty shitty go-home show. I'm not looking forward to sitting through World War III. But next week we have Raw from November 17th.
Yes, indeed.
Yay. 2 weeks post Montreal. And I think, I know what happens now. I know this one. This is the big interview with Mr. McMahon, where he thinks he's coming out of face and he comes out the world's biggest dick. Shocking. Anywho, all right. Well, this sucked. Arnold, give us your final thoughts and take us home.
Will do. So my final thought is, honestly, they probably should have just took the week off and just get ready for World War III. That way, we would have been surprised of what was coming. Like, oh, these guys have a match. They can go. Instead of subjecting the poor people of Cincinnati
to chili.
Yes. There you go. Yeah. Like
this episode was the chili of shows. The Skyline chili of shows was this episode.
It's like, just imagine that you're eating Skyline chili and watching this show. Like, what? I'd be so disappointed. I'd like, you know what? I'm moving across the river to Kentucky. I can't do this.
You know, I'm going to change it. I'm going to say that AEW is the Skyline chili of wrestling, because you look at it, it's different. It looks good, but then when you get a taste of it, oh my God, this is shit. AEW is a Skyline chili of wrestling. All right, that's my last witty comment, Arnold. Take us home.
That's a quote right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been the man with the velvet vocal cords, Arnold. And with me, as always, my tag team partner, the three-time Armchair Bookie of the Year, the Big Drewski. And we are on our backs. Staring up at the lights. 1, 2, 3. Night, night, Drew.
I'm awake. I'm awake. I forgot something, Arnold.
What's that?
Disco sucks.